obviously I'm not going for a ride because I have bought, if you haven't seen the shorts and the TikToks I've done, I've bought myself a scooter to have in Melbourne because Calamity Jane is mainly in Sydney and I've sold my car down here, so I need an escape plan every now and then to get out and get those groceries and things. So I have found what I think is a really great little scooter. It's an Aprilia, it's 500 cc's and it's a Scarabeo. It's, you know, it's Italian, so you've got to say it with an accent. Anyway, the things I don't like about it is its colour. Not a big fan of coloured things. You know me, I'm all about the brown. Let's have a look at the bike first. So it's, that's it. It's a scooter. It's a scooter, you know, 500 cc's, top box, it's, you know, it's damaged. Like the finish is pretty shit in places. There's some nicks and cuts and everything, but that doesn't matter because I'm steampunking it. And how am I going to do that? Well, first I'm going to degrease it all, make sure I got all the shit off it. Then I'll be masking it up. Then I use this universal primer. I'll start with a base coat of, well, this is called Mission Brown. It's a good Aussie colour. There was a time in the 80s where every house was painted Mission Brown. But I have two other colours here, Indian Red and gold, copper. So they'll be dappled on to give it that real rusty steampunk Mad Max look that I like. Cover it with some acrylic varnish. Now all of this has probably cost me about $120 to do. So these things are the most expensive, about 20 bucks a can. But these coloured things are only $5 auto paints, which is all I need. In fact, I'll be left with some over to do a helmet. Let's go, shall we? Just going to charge this phone, but before I go and start filming my process, I was approached this week by a lady, Sharon, in Pennsylvania, Lancaster County, and her hubby is retiring from the Deputy Sheriff's Office after, I don't know how many years, but he's also a retired veteran, Chris Riggs. So I know he watches my stuff, so he's already seen the video by the time this comes out, I'm sure. But I decided to not only send him a little video wishing him the best, but I did a painting of Chris, which I'm going to put in the post for them. Happy retirement, mate. Bend over, Damien. I need to give you an examination. Okay, the situation is this. I have done most of the masking up, but this is a fiddly bit that Damien has taken on board because I don't have the patience for that shit. You need someone that's into precision to do some of these fiddly bits, but it's all marked up now. I've done all the front there. Credit where credit's due. I'll always credit Damien for his 80% effort for 20% return strategy. I'm 20% effort for 80% return. I don't put much effort into things because I'm a bit slap happy. I'm going to do this first because this is already sort of a bit rat shitty. So any mistakes and I can just get a rhythm going. So just to let you know how it works, how I do it anyway. I don't know if this is the right way. I do the base coat, which is a Mission Brown colour, which is this colour. And then I come in with the Indian Red and the copper. And it's all done with Glad Wrap or cling film. I have bunches of Glad Wrap with copper and India Red, and I just create that real motley, rusty, old look. So the top box will be done first, and if I'm happy with that, then we do the bike. There we go. So I just got to paint that. Don't have to mask up. Genius discovery. Okay. So this is the primer. I've got something on there, have I? Didn't clean it properly. It'll be fine because it's meant to look like an old junkyard. So the odd little bit of bubble and shit won't matter. The primer's added. I'm going to get into the fun part in a minute. Well, now we start the fun stuff. Damien's a bit worried. Okay, that's the primer, it's all dry. So the first coat, this is all a bit of an experiment. So I'm just doing with the basic brown. Love a bit of brown. Now for the cling wrap idea. Nice bit. Oh, let's finish that cling wrap. Indian red. So what I do, I just scrunch it all up. Spray Indian red. Oh, it doesn't look very Indian red to me. Oh yeah, it's not too bad. And then we just dapple it on. I'll just give you a close-up of that. That's the bike with the brown base. Just waiting for it to get like tacky finish. And we're already getting bugs on here, which will add to the character of it all. Going to try the copper first now, and then the Indian red, and we'll just mix it up. Then we go over that with Indian red. Now let's go some Indian red. Huh? How cool is that? Loving it. So even the bugs work in it. Even dead bugs that are stuck to it. Okay, we start the bike because we're really happy with the way it's going. And okay. Makes it a bit more three-dimensional. There you go. I think that's looking good. So I've done the creative bit, so now I'm bored, and this is where Damien comes into his own. He loves to fiddle and tinker. He's putting together the top box for me, putting all the stuff back on.
Can you pass me other parts?
Sure, I can do that. This one?
Yes, thank you.
I'm so handy to have around. Putting back the reflectors, all the fiddly stuff. That's the windscreen. I'll have to get a new one of those, I think. That's a bit shitty. You know, once all the masking tape's up, there's always little tiny little bits and pieces. So I just sprayed some of the Mission Brown on a paintbrush, and I just sort of, just in places where it sort of hasn't quite taken, and if I see any red bits in those little crevices. The beauty with this technique though is, you know, you can get away with bloody blue murder. It is a 2000, I think it's 2003, by the way, with about just shy of 30,000 Ks on it, but it goes like the clappers. Sweet Baby Jane version 2. This is Jane Junior, I think. Now, just to let you know, this is nowhere near finished yet. This has to be recovered. I've got some leather grip stuff to add to it. I've got new mirrors coming. I have some sort of thing on the front there. I'm not sure yet. Right, it's another day, and I'm looking at now what to do about the seat. Went to Vinnie's and found this leather skirt, which might make an interesting top. quite like it. It's very close and similar to the paint job. Having some chips for lunch. But I also got, it's like a stain. I'm going to do it anyway because I can always paint it black, which it's not going to hurt, is it? I don't think so. Try a bit of that, maybe. Maybe. All just fun and games till someone gets hurt. I don't even mind the seam like that. Right. I have the ideas. Damien has the capabilities.